You know, you guys can have pizza too.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not very good. I don't think you'd like it. So don't feel like you have to eat it.
Welcome to Jack Dotson's Racing Insider News this week. We got Mr. Billy Hobbs here with us tonight.
The man I've been hearing so much about.
Is it good or
most of it was good.
okay?
That's because I've been telling him.
But I sat up here the other night during the race, and I got schooled on some few things about him and everything. So
So you got a little cheat sheet going?
well, I didn't write it down because I figured
Thank you. When you write it down, it's called evidence.
All right, we got to thank our marketing partners. We got to thank Papa John's for our pizza tonight. Show is presented by Smith Wraps and Graphics. Did they wrap your car? No. They didn't wrap mine either, so I can't say anything. NC811, GAC, Great American Company, Bondard's Brothers. This would have been a good night to bring some drink up here, Jack. I mean, Billy probably take a little.
Billy's wife's up here. We may not want.
We got to hate.
Drive. Our son's a lawyer. I've been schooled.
There you go. Pepsi, Langley Speedway for allowing us to do the show here. Factory Canopies for this nice tablecloth and our nice chairs. We don't let Jack sit in these. I don't know.
I'll let the guests sit in.
Oh,
yeah,
We ain't got but two. So.
Thank you. Okay.
I wasn't that nice.
You decided to be
Black Acid Racing Apparel. If you need 1 shirt, 5 shirts, 100 shirts, they can take care of you. MPM Marketing, Tanya McAllister, kind of help you with your social media stuff and anything racing related. If you need a helmet, shoes, suit, custom made, she can handle all that stuff. It made it very easy for me for my suit. Safety Clean and Performance Plus Motor Oil.
Well, I get nothing from.
Hey.
Also,
sometimes
stepchild over here.
Also,
some sponsors are just.
You naturally gravitate to the stars. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I didn't say it.
Yeah.
Billy said it.
Yeah.
Mr.
I already like Billy.
Fans.
I already like Billy.
Anyway, also don't forget Mayhem Management.
Well, you didn't put them on here.
I know I got to get their insignia and put on the thing, but anyway, with
terrible,
Mayhem
Jack.
Management and Slinger Printwork Printing got them involved in the show also. So anyway, all right, let's do some news real quick before we turn it over to the interviews. Some great racing this past weekend. I'm sure Al will tip us up on some.
I already see he's a fan.
Yeah, I saw him come in with the Looters hat on. It wouldn't be no fact that Chase got to win. First race car driver to ever win a race and never lead a lap.
But you're right.
Yeah, I know I'm right.
I would call that
fortuitous. The one
fortuitous.
without leaving the green.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them that didn't lead anything.
Right.
But he's the first one to win from not leading anything. Right. All right, in the ARCA race, Taylor Gray got the win. In the truck series, Chandler Smith won the trucks. The Xfinity winner was Noah Gregson. And the Cup winner was Chase Elliott. And
By default.
the 11 and the 18 were home drinking the champagne that Chase was supposed to get.
Hey, I gotta say, I mean, I think most of us are not great big fans of Denny Hamlin, but he's handled his stuff pretty well. He's made a good joke out of it, and I thought it was pretty funny and clever.
Well, I think the thing between Hamlin and Chastain was really funny too, because he got part of that back this week. So he was talking
Yeah,
about
who gets the last laugh in that deal?
Kirk Ipock. How you doing, Kirk? We had Kirk here this weekend. He was here for the race this weekend. Yeah, I got my Solid Rock Carrier hat on, and I was trying to save you pizza, but you're not going to be back for a while, and Al's here, so so we're not going to.
I know, right, Chris?
What's the bad news?
All right, the SRX race was at Sharon Speedway this past weekend. Chase Elliott got the win there, and the champion of the SRX series was Marco Andretti. And I tell you, I went to the SRX race out in Quigley, Missouri, week before last. And I tell you, that is some good racing on dirt. Now, I'm not really fond of the asphalt racing, but on the dirt race, those guys were putting on a show. And Tony Stewart made the comment, "You poked me once, shame on you. You poked me twice, I'm going to take it to you." Well, I ain't going to say exactly.
I think we know. Yeah.
Down in Orange County this past weekend, late model race number 1, Jason Barnes won. Late model race number 2, 11-year-old Tristan McKee got the win.
Mhm.
And, I thought I was talking to myself that time. Down at Bowman Gray, they had the modified race that Brandon Ward won. Up in Chemung, New York, or I'm not sure if this was where the Super Series race was, Garrett Zacharias got another win. At Hickory this past weekend, Katie Hedinger got the first late model win. That is win number 6 for her this year.
Wow.
And she became the all-time winningest female at Hickory Motor Speedway.
Thanks.
That's a pretty big deal. Late model race number 2, Connor Zilch won. Late model, limited late model winner was Akinori Ogata. You know who Akinori Ogata is? Well, he ran a lot of Xfinity trucks, so I figured you'd know who he was, but that's all right. Down at Wake County in the Bandos, Phoenix Kimball won. The late model race, Tyler Matthews won. Tri-County Speedway, Ryan Millington got the win there. Dixieland Speedway this past weekend in the sprint cars, CJ Faison got the win.
Oh, did
Yeah, he was here and got the win for that. That was a pretty big deal for him. But I hadn't seen him race much this year. In the late models, John Staten won and Butterbean finished 3rd. The modified race in New York was won by Matt Hirschman. That's win number 7 for him. At Kingsport, win number 8 for Crest Van Dyke.
Is that in a row?
That's 8 in a row for Crest Van Dyke at Kingsport. And in the Mod 4s, Kevin Canner got the win. That is career win number 99. So next week he's going for the 100. The Southern Super Series was at Pensacola, Florida. William Sawalich won the race. You know him by any chance? Okay. At Motor Mile, Kyle Barnes got the limited late model win, and the guy from here that goes from here at races here at Langley in the Bandos, Brian Runstrom, got the win up there. This past weekend was the Hampton Heat here at Langley Speedway. Jared Fryer got the win, and
He had the car to beat.
no, he was definitely one of the cars to beat there. Little disappointed in things happening for Butterbean. I thought he'd be a little bit bigger,
Yeah,
bigger
what happened to
force.
him? I didn't catch.
He had a battery go bad on the car.
Oh wow.
He went down 2 laps,
Mm-hmm.
and he got both laps back, but he had to start so far in the field, it had a hard time getting back to the front.
He worked hard to get where he was at.
Yeah, he did. He put on a heck of a
He
show.
works hard.
So that
Well,
was,
Phil works hard.
Well, Phil works hard. That has been a good difference.
Yeah, for sure.
so anyway, we were talking to him before the race. I said, wouldn't it be nice if you could pull this one off, the Cars Tour, and all the wins you got so far? And that's what he was thinking about. I think the first thing he thought was, I jinxed him.
Well, I mean, you got to think that he was probably one of the favorites coming in, as good as he's been here this year. So
I thought Bobby McCarty.
Well,
I like McCarty too. It's
I thought McCarty started out and he dropped back like he told us he was going to do. He was going to drop back and save his tires, but evidently with all the stuff going on, he just couldn't get back to the front. So I hate that for him. The Langley had their super trucks running. Chris Roberts won. Imagine that. U-Cars, Cody Bryant won. And in the Super Streets, Jimmy Atkins won. The Triple Crown points that going into Martinsville will be Mark Wertz is on top, Mason Diaz is second, Jared Fryer third, Carter Langley is fourth, Bobby McCarty is fifth. I think those 5 guys are really pretty close to each other as far as the points go. And for this week, Mark Wertz is driver of the week.
and well deserved, especially after the South Boston, how well he ran. Well, I don't think he had that good of a car, but he had a really good finish.
They have really good luck.
Yes. Yeah.
Well said.
You think I could be a politician?
I think you could. I think you could be the guy who takes my place when I go out.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Let's don't do that.
Said he'd go to hell in a handbasket.
All right, this coming weekend, the Blake Morris Memorial Race up at Dominion is going to be run. Can't wait to see what's going on with that race. The Chicago Street Race has been approved, and we got Al Pearce here. What do you think about the Chicago Street Race?
It's amazing to me how many people think that was just done
I know
weeks ago.
that's been worked
Been in the
on.
works a long time. You can't have a press conference like that and create all those TV graphics in just a week or two. So it'll be good. It's another sign that Ben Kennedy's kind of got a hold of that thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty much.
I think
moving
he's
in
a
his
perfect
direction.
person for it.
You know who Ben Kennedy's early career racing advisor and mentor was?
Not his
Elton
uncle.
Sawyer.
Oh, really?
Elton and Ben are buddies.
Oh,
Very close.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. At the Cars Tour races at Hickory this weekend, it's the throwback schemes for this weekend down at Hickory, so that's going to be fun. And the North Wilkesboro is having their test and tune sessions coming up the 4th through the 7th of August. So everybody's going down to race at North Wilkesboro as they bring North Wilkesboro back to life. It'll be interesting to see how that works out. All right, we got Mr. Billy Hobbs here with us, and I want to tell you thank you for everything you do out here at Langley Speedway. You're very much involved in everything here, and we appreciate it.
Oh, I love it. It's like we were talking earlier. I've been coming out since I was a kid, and it's just, this is the place to be on Saturday night. It's and if I'm not here, my wife will tell me about it. She want to know why we've got to go to one of those old political dinners.
Oh, is that right?
And Chuck Hall will tell me about it.
Well, I'm sure Chuck Hall
I
will.
was gonna say there's not many times that I come here that I don't know that I see you around here walking victory lane or bringing somebody over or something.
That's I guess that's the politician or the salesman. I mean, one or the other, man. I don't know. But I enjoy it. My family enjoys it. My children grew up out here. I really, at 15, I come out the first time I was telling y'all with Mickey Strickland, the guys at the shop. And it's like it's in your blood. It's in my blood. My wife got addicted to it at 17 when I met her. She knew that I was going to have my head underneath the hood of a car or laying underneath the car all my life. And that poor girl's put up with all kinds of stuff, and she's still here.
Well, that's the,
That's because she got a wonderful man to marry.
I was gonna say you married up though.
Yeah, I did marry up. Yeah. I grew up in East End of Newport News and Marshall Courts. A lot of us weren't supposed to make it out, but there are an awful lot of us that worked hard and applied themselves. Had some of the bigger boys that looked out for us and kept us going. So, and I was lucky. I got in the car business at a young age, and with the Hutchins family, and especially a man by the name of Stanley Wilson was our general manager. And buddy, if I stepped across the line just a little bit, Stanley Wilson was on me. And I thought he was just being mean to me, but he was just trying to get me straightened out. And he did good for me. He kept me going. And he used to race the number 21 car out here years ago.
Oh, really?
And so we always had a race car somewhere in the shop. And we used to, back in the day, Gene Lovelace would come to the body shop on a Friday afternoon, and they'd stop me doing whatever I was doing. And they would say, whatever Mr. Lovelace tells you to do, that frame, do it. And I would help the guys heat the frame and bend the frame the way he wanted. Didn't have any idea what I was doing. But when it got to the right place, Mr. Lovelace said, stop right there. And then, of course, he was married to Mary Beth, who was a pretty girl. And I was always happy to be around her. So, she would pamper me a little bit. So it's always been around. Yeah.
So I'm sitting up here with Bill Mullis and Chuck Hall was up here, and we were talking, and we appreciate the fact that you and Bill worked so hard to get this track back and get it into for us to race here and be a part of that. When we really appreciate that fact, and But you worked hard to get that track back here.
I did it for selfish reasons. You know, it's
For-
good
for
for the
yourself.
city. Yeah, somewhere for me to go Saturday night. It's good for the city. It's good for the citizens. It's good for our racing family. For these young guys coming up, it's a good place for them to go. And it's a family atmosphere. Where can you go bring your whole family out here and bring drinks and Cokes and, you know, just have a good family. Now, I know sometimes our family gets a little rough around the edges and we have to get real close to each other. But it's a family, and after it's over with, you know, you can sit down and have a cold beverage and go about your business. Come back next week and race hard again.
Yeah, there's not much else you can do for the dollars that it costs to come here and watch a race, so far as advertising dollars. And this is not like some other sporting events where you go down and you get your drink is $15. You can eat for a reasonable price down here and have a good meal, not some, you know.
And if you don't like redneck fries,
I know,
something's
right?
wrong with you. Just socially, it's wrong with you.
But I mean,
you know what else is a big deal? Free parking.
Free,
Yeah.
That's right.
Free parking is a big deal. Because you go anywhere else, stick and ball sports, you got to plunk down $8 or $10 to park your car.
and most racetracks do that
A
now.
lot of them, yeah.
Most of them do it.
Well, anyway, I should shut up. Because I'm coming up later.
But it's really good that, you know, you got involved in it, saved the racetrack basically. But when you got into the city council and everything you got involved in, how big was it, or how did they perceive Langley Speedway?
That's a funny story because it's well, me getting involved in politics, period, was just, it was almost an act of God because I wasn't supposed to be doing that kind of stuff. And a guy like me, just, you know, I wasn't the guy they usually go after. Anyway, but when we started talking about Langley Speedway, they thought we were a bunch of rednecks out here.
That's what I was.
That they did, you know, we were beer drinkers, you know, hot dog eaters, and we were doing our own thing, but you know, they didn't have any out here. And then we started bringing about one at a time. And then when we started the Hampton Heat race, that was a big deal because Jim Peach, he was a visionary. I am not a visionary. I'm an operations guy. You know, if you build it, I'll run it. I'll help it. But then people on city council started coming out and they started having a good time. Bob Williams was our treasurer. He had been a major on the Hampton Police Department. And Chuck Hall got him out here to one race. And then every night after that, every Saturday night after that, I would walk out of box 17 and 18 taking sponsors down, and Bob Williams sitting there with his grandchildren. And he wouldn't come inside. He says, I want to be out here where I can see it, feel it, and smell it. And he was a great guy. I loved racing. And he was a big supporter of Langley Speedway.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and ask the question now. This is the one that I was told to ask.
Oh, Lord.
Tell us all about how the Hampton Heat got started.
You see her looking around.
He's like, oh Lord, what are we getting into now?
We had, I used to hang around Phoebus a little bit, and Jim Peach owned Peach's Texaco down there, and he was the unofficial mayor of Phoebus. He ran Phoebus, and when Jim Peach called you to come to a meeting, he'd say, come by the station, I want to see you. He had a job for you. And Jim Peach called one day and he said, look, we're not doing enough out at Langley Speedway. We need to do more to show people what we got out there, to bring people to Langley Speedway. And he says, we need some kind of race. He said, I'm bringing the city manager, Jesse Wallace, and the mayor, Ross Carney, up to my box Saturday night. And he said, I'd like you to come and explain to them what you see in Langley Speedway, why you go all the time. And let's try to talk them into a race. And he had the idea of celebrating the birthday of the city of Hampton because we were coming up on the 400th birthday in July. And so I said, okay, I'm a pretty good salesman. I was representing Coliseum Central at that time. We had a business improvement group out there that we co-opted our funds and did marketing and clean up the area and had security, kept it safe and secure. Anyway, so we came out here and we were having a good time, and Jim brought it up, and I'm not going to talk about the adult beverages, but we were having a nice time. And so we came up with, and Ross, and he did ask at one point, he said, well, why do you advertise for Langley Speedway? So I see your ads in the paper, and you always have a little square down there about the racer of the week and all like that. I said, well, being in the car business, it's natural to be part of Langley Speedway. And we were advertising out here. And at one point, we'd sponsored a couple of cars and done things like that. And we talked all about that. And as the evening went on and they were watching the races and enjoyed themselves quite a bit, they more and more got into it. So we came up with a plan. I said, well, Coliseum Central can help out. We've got some money for marketing, and we will benefit from it because we are a business community.
Right.
64% of the sales tax dollars in the city of Hampton come through Coliseum Central.
Oh, well.
And that's something that a lot of people don't know. So, and we did our own marketing and everything. It's a great business group out there. So I said, we can put money in, the city put money in. And that's how it all got started. It was Jim Peach's idea. And Ross Carney and Jesse Wallace stepped out on faith that we would do the right thing. And after they were out here at the track and saw all the people and met the people, they fell in love with Langley Speedway like all of us did. And it was not a big sales job, really. They just needed to see my pretty face, I guess.
So what year did that start?
Oh my gosh, that was 12 years ago.
That was, and now if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong.
Fact checking me. She's fact checking me.
I don't know if I could be wrong, but that was the year before Bill Mullis
Yes,
got
sir.
involved. They got involved in the racing.
Yes, sir. That was the year before
Yeah.
Bill. Yeah.
Because I think he mentioned that. I think he mentioned that the other night that it was the year before, but I wasn't sure that. I was in two different places the other night when he was talking sometimes. So, but anyway,
So I am too a lot of times.
but you and I were talking about it earlier about Bill and him coming here to Langley and what he's done here at Langley Speedway. And you told him, you said he is a heck of a negotiator to get things done.
Woo! It's and I've done a lot of negotiating for a living, and I've been in a lot of high pressure business meetings. Whenever you're buying a dealership, selling a dealership, or doing a big deal, a fleet deal or something, and I've been with a lot of good businessmen. One of the guys I look up to, George Pelton. George Pelton was one of the most tenacious businessmen I ever met. That once he got locked in on something, you just had to get locked in with him because he was going to take you with him one way or the other. And when we were negotiating to get the land for Bill, we did it for 2 years and 2 months. And we would meet in my office a lot of mornings. We would drag a very prestigious lawyer and a prestigious land developer into my office at 6:30 in the morning. We would give them coffee and a biscuit from Hardee's, and we would talk about what we needed to do. And we did that for over 2 years. At one meeting, Bill had been in the hospital, had his gallbladder worked on, removed or something. And they called me up front and they said, "You've got a visitor that wants to see you." Bill Mullis, I think, stopped on the way home from the hospital to come in and say, "Don't give up on me, Billy Hobbs. We got to do this deal. We've got to get this property for the race family." And that was his whole commitment. He was tenacious. I was telling you, we'd have a meeting early in the morning, and Bill is colorful to say the least. And I love him. God bless him. I love him. I told him the other night, we don't leave each other till we say that we love each other. The phone would ring about 7 o'clock on my way home at night, and it was Bill Mullis. And he'd always start out the same way. He would say, "Billy Hobbs, I love you." And I would say, "I love you too, Bill, but this is getting really thin. I don't know if we can pull this off or not." And Bill and I and Chuck went to the city of Hampton, and we sat down with Mayor George Wallace at the time, and we came up with a plan. And Donnie Tuck, who's the mayor now, Donnie got involved in it, and we showed them on paper how it would benefit the city of Hampton to keep Langley Speedway open. And they got behind us and they pushed and they helped. And Bill Mullis, buddy, he taught me more about business in that 2 years than I had learned in over 50 years in the car business.
Mm.
He showed me how to negotiate. He showed me how when something is right and good, you don't give up on it. You go after it and you do whatever it takes to get there and do it.
Yeah, I knew that part about Bill. It's just whatever
Yeah.
it takes. It doesn't matter. It's, I mean, behind the scenes, I'm sure you know. I don't know how some of the negotiating was going. You knew he was all in.
He was completely all in. That's the only way he knows how to do it. And but look what he did Saturday night out here.
Mm-hmm.
Look what he did.
I mean, you just had to look out here Saturday night at the fans and everything that we had here that night. I mean, it was jam-packed. Everybody was having a good time. I mean, it was, and as hot as it was in the early part of the afternoon,
Yeah.
it was smoking hot.
And they didn't care.
No, they were out and about. And there was people sitting in these stands. When I got here at 11 o'clock that morning, there were people sitting in
Is
these
that right?
stands then.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. I said, man, I done passed out here one time. I ain't sitting in them stands at 11 o'clock in the morning.
And we looked up in the drivers' meeting at 11 o'clock, and we saw the people in the stands, and we were just shaking our head. It's just that's love of a sport. That's love of a lifestyle right there.
Did you ever think when you first, when y'all first come up with the Hampton Heat, that it would be what it is?
No.
Continue on.
No.
Did you think it was just going to be a one race or a couple of race deal? And
Well, we had our fingers crossed. We hoped that it would carry on, and it kept going. And in the city of Hampton, the convention and tourism of people, they started advertising it on all the hotels around the area in the Mid-Atlantic region and talking about the Hampton Heat Race. And then people were starting to say, that's pretty cool. We like that. And people started coming to town. And selfishly, when you fill the hotels up and people eat in our restaurants, they buy gasoline, and when people come through the front gate, the city of Hampton benefits from that. And then you've got people that start coming back every year. And I make a new friend every year.
But think about it now, because it is now one of the most prestigious races in the late models all over the country. I mean, you got
it's
several,
become a staple here at Langley Speedway.
well, it's a staple here, but it's also a big deal everywhere else. I mean, I've heard guys say, I got to get up there and run the Hampton Heat one time because I want to be there. But out of the three races in the state, that's part of the Triple Crown, Langley's and who would have ever thought? This racetrack has a history, a major history in auto racing, and so that's a big deal when you come to Langley Speedway. That's part of the history. You become part of that history if you win races out here, and I think that's really cool that this place is that prestigious among. And it's one of the biggest ones in NASCAR. I mean, NASCAR looks out for Langley Speedway.
Well, the good news is you haven't seen anything yet.
Uh-oh.
There's more coming. It's, we've got an addition out here, and I love the city of Hampton because our city manager, Mary Bunning, and her team, they see the value in helping this place look better and be more attractive to people outside of the city of Hampton. And we've got something going to happen middle of next month. I hope it's earlier, but it's going to be unique for Langley Speedway and unique in our sport. When we threw the switch in August, you're going to see something, brother.
It's going to be an amazing. I haven't heard all the stories. I heard the stories up there this week. I mean, Bill was telling me about when they turn the lights on, it's all the bells and whistles that Musco has put out to be a part of it.
We're going to have something that no other sports facility in America has. And I believe that. And we watched them when they put everything up. She's still looking at me.
Oh yeah. She ain't taking her eye off.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. And then that's only part of it. And I can't tip my hat on anything else. Bill Mullis has more to do. He can't wait to get this finished so he can go to the next step. And he's a builder. You love the guy. He's building this for his family.
And he's got two guys that help him out with Chuck Hall and Vaughn Crittenden.
Yes, sir.
That can push that stuff along really good.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's what I was just going to say, that Bill's really good at putting the right people in the right spots. I mean, Chuck is a great promoter.
Yes.
And bringing Vaughn on, Vaughn's brought some, some new ideas that we need the younger generation. And Vaughn's kind of in that age group, to bring, and he's got a lot of experience being up at Richmond for a few years, Richmond International Raceway, and then coming back here and bringing some of those ideas, the stage for pre-race introduction, and then the victory lane and those type of things, I think has been great for
the fan place of the fan. I can't think of the name.
Pavilion out there.
Yeah, the pavilion out there.
Oh, we brought this year, and Chuck and Bill helped do this. We had a bunch of young boys from the DeMolay Association in Virginia. The state DeMolay was in town, and that's an organization I'm part of, and the Freemasons. And we brought 40 young people out here with their chaperones, and they were up in the pavilion, and they were just having a blast. We took them for a tour down on Pit Road and got to see all the drivers, and a couple of the kids got to sit in cars. And that did more for the youth of Virginia than I don't think these guys realize what's going on.
And we need that.
Yes,
we need those
That's
younger, because the younger kids like these guys coming along,
they
it's
are
harder-
young, aren't they?
Yeah, much younger than you and I.
Oh, yeah.
But we need the younger generation, because we don't, unless they grow up in the sport, there's not a whole lot of outside people coming into our sport right now. And hopefully that's changing.
Well, I love it when I can introduce people to them.
Yeah.
And they see these young drivers. Whenever Cody won his race the other night, I took one of the councilmen down there with his date. They said, "How old is that boy?" And they told him how old
15
he
or
was.
16.
And he said, 16.
16,
Yeah, 16. Oh my gosh. Oh, And I said, well, if you look out there, we've got young people all over the track. It's not an old man's sport. It's not a young man's sport. It's a family sport.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And what a nice young man.
Oh,
Cody is such a great young kid.
Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
You mean from his mama?
Yeah, from his mom. Not his dad. Not his dad. I don't want to pay Charlie a compliment. That's all. Now, I told Charlie the other night that we were pretty proud of Cody and him and the way
absolutely.
his family raced.
Yeah, and he gives it all the credit to his wife too.
Yes, he does.
He's like, that's all her. She's doing this,
She's like my wife. It's I would not be here today if it weren't for her. So, did you hear that, honey?
You're laying it on thick tonight.
Oh well.
Well, Mr. Hobbs, we appreciate you coming out here and being a part of our show tonight. I know
anytime
you're a busy person and got a lot going on, and I was determined I was going to get you on the show one way or the other, and I'm glad it worked out.
I said something to him last year, and he wasn't quite on board about coming on. He's like, well, yeah, I'm a politician. I don't need.
Well, you got to know something about me. I am the guy, and Debbie hates this about me. I am the guy that when we got everything going and all like that, I don't care to be the guy to cut the ribbon. I don't care to be the guy to kiss the baby. I don't care to be that guy up front getting his picture taken. All I care about is getting the deal done. And that's my joy, getting the deal done. So, I mean, Bill Mullis and I, when we opened the track back up after we were closed for a year, we were in the driver's meeting talking. And we were like two little girls. We couldn't look at each other because we were crying. And I'm a grown man, past that, I guess. But it was just, it meant that much.
It meant a lot, and it meant a lot to everybody to see that track come back and the success we're having.
I don't take praise very well. I like to give praise. I don't like to give praise. So that's kind of.
Well, that's not Chuck. You just don't give it all to Chuck because he loves it.
Chuck, Elvis.
Chuck is one of those guys that likes all that,
He does, but we can't get him on the show either. He said he's got a face for radio.
No,
yeah.
You know what he told me the other night? He told me come in here. I said, Chuck, you haven't been on my show yet. I said, we got something for you if you ever come on the show. He said, I don't go on shows like that because I don't want people to know I'm still working here.
That's probably because he's done something he shouldn't have done in Pulaski that they might be after him.
Right.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
In Daytona Beach, Florida, Langley Speedway is looked upon as one of the 2 or 3 best weekly run tracks in America. And there, in all of the NASCAR short track world, this place right here is certainly top 5 year after year after year. Once you and Chuck and Bill and Vaughn got things rolling, Langley's reputation in Daytona Beach is just outstanding. They think the world of you guys. So there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
It
good
used to
news,
be
yeah.
places like Southside and some other tracks were thought of. Langley has overtaken almost every track. I can't say all over the country, but certainly east of the Mississippi. This may be the best track in America.
I totally agree with you. I
They
think
love it. They love y'all down there.
I agree with you. It's good. I come out every Saturday night. Y'all come out every Saturday night. So must be something special.
That's right.
Well, Bill, thank you. Billy, we appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you for everything. And
Anytime, just call Debbie. She'll bring me up here.
okay, well,
She'll make-
Call
we'll
your-
get you
she's-
back. We'll
she's
get
in
you
charge
back
of
out
PR.
here again. And
I drive a little Chevrolet truck out here all the time. And so if you see the old red truck, I'm out here.
Okay.
well, we appreciate it.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk to you again real soon. So I'm gonna let you
That's
out this week.
All right.
So we don't want Bill to fall.
Now you get on some real.
Yeah, we're
race
gonna
car
get a
driving.
race car
Who wants
driver.
to
on
come?
here. Who's going first?
Come on.
I gotta cut in front and get my.
Come on over, Bill. You're good.
All right, gentlemen. Thank y'all.
All right.
Thank you.
Bill.
We appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thanks for bringing him.
All right, Justin,
I miss.
tell us a little bit about
I
Justin
miss
Quigley and what all he's a.
Driving over at Wacky Wednesday. One of the guys that try to be out every week and try my hardest to get Wacky Wednesday out there as much as I can and to get people out there as much as they can so they can enjoy it just as much as I do. And just a driver out there.
Well, just tell us about Wacky Wednesday. Now, Scott and I, neither one have been here yet.
No,
We've been out here.
neither one have been out here on Wacky.
And we had Sparky and his wife in here. And I'm sure you watched, maybe saw some of that, maybe.
Yes, I did.
She was talking trash about all of you.
I bet she was. She's a tough cookie. She's a tough one to race against. When you line up against her, you know you're in for it.
All
Is
I heard was she's gonna whoop everybody's ass in there. So I guess
We would never put any words in somebody's mouth or stir anything up. So
Yeah, no, she's an awesome driver.
you ain't got to talk nice about her. Talk trash. Come on, man.
I've faced her a couple times, and I've had to
Does she
get
beat
rough
you?
with her. Oh yeah. We've had a few incidents where when it came down to negotiations, I had to get a little tough with her because I know her car. I know her car is fast, and compared to the truck that I race, I want a little leeway with it. And
what kind of truck are you racing?
So I drive a Ford Ranger. It's just a basic Ford Ranger that you'd see on the street that delivers car parts or goes to the scrap yard and drops off scrap. It's bone stock. It just has a little arrow done to it, has a little weight reduction to it. But besides that, it's just a normal cheap old Ford Ranger.
So that's are you in politics too?
I am not in politics, not at all.
So it's really good when you beat guys like Sparky West and all that stuff. All of his stuff he's got in there.
That's right. Guys like that, guys like Sparky is inspiration for me. So I have raced him before, and luckily,
Are you friends with Sparky or?
Yeah, of course. I'm friends with everybody out there. I try not to keep no bad blood. I bump heads with a few drivers, but besides that, it's gonna happen. But besides that, I kept it cool with everyone.
Sparky comes out here with that car he drives out here on Wacky Wednesday. I've seen pictures of it. Now, I haven't been out here to see it race.
That's a street legal car, Joe.
I know it says it's street legal car. Okay,
I don't know where he's buying his state inspection.
I understand where all that's coming from, but when that car's sitting down there pointed towards me, it don't look like a street legal car. So it. I'm just gonna put it out there. Sparky's cheating his ass.
I love seeing guys like that, and I love seeing cars like that because it makes drivers like myself want to push harder and want to try harder and invest more time in Langley and to learn more about the track. Because guys like Sparky, they're fast and their cars are fast. And I grew up watching guys like that and guys like Samuel Lamborghini and his Evil Opal come out here. And even the drivers we have now are amazing. We have Rick Stott and his Honda Civic that's just a rocket ship. And guys like that, it's just awesome to race against because you never know what's going to happen.
Well, what is your pull to Wacky Wednesday? Why is that such a
how did you get started in
Yeah,
Wacky
I mean
Wednesday?
what is the pull to it? I mean,
So I've been coming here since I was a kid. I'm
Okay.
a local, and I've loved the Saturday night racing. It's just been awesome. It's been a dream for me to come out here and race. I don't have a family that has a racing background. I'm not grandfathered into it. So when I finally got my license and finally got the opportunity, I had to come out here. I had to come out here, get my toes wet, and enjoy the track. And Wacky Wednesday, it's the best way for drivers like myself to get into racing. It's $15 for us drivers to come out here and turn a few laps and to have fun. And to me, that's the greatest thing ever, because it gets you attracted to it. And now myself, I want to keep doing it. And not only that, but I hope to join the super trucks here soon. Maybe in the next year or so. I'd love to come out here with the super trucks and join those guys. And
that'd be cool. That'd be a good thing. I mean, and I've heard a lot of people say that getting started in Wacky Wednesday kind of leads you into that next phase. It gives you that. Oh, I got to try this next.
Yeah,
I got to try it.
The Zero, Crystal West. Sparky's done his thing in the Legends.
Don't keep giving them all this praise. They don't need all that praise.
Nah, but seeing them.
Did Christian Keller start in Wacky Wednesdays?
I'm not too sure.
So
somebody else I know did start, and I can't think who it is either.
Yeah. So what was it like when you first came out here the first time and you ran? I mean, what was it like that first lap? Were you scared to death? Or?
Oh man, I can't express enough. I was completely flabbergasted. So I remember it like it was yesterday. My first time coming onto this track, my truck was the normal height. It had nothing done to it. I had big old truck tires on it, and I kid you not, when I took out of pit road, I blacked out until I got into turn 4, and then I was like, "Oh my! There's a wall right here on the outside, and I am balling down this track." But it's the greatest roller coaster ever. I mean, it really is. My first time out here, it was such an adrenaline rush, and I ran probably the slowest time that night. But when I got out to the pits and I pulled my helmet off, I looked at everyone and I was like, "Did y'all see that? Did y'all see how awesome that was? That was great." But no, it's just such an adrenaline rush. It's so good.
So now, have you gotten like some of your friends, and are they getting involved, or are they coming out here, maybe
definitely.
bringing a car? Or?
Definitely. So right now we have a rookie division, and one of the rookies, his name's David Shupp. He reached out and he wanted some advice. I was able to talk to him, and now he's out here doing amazing. I mean, he's doing great. He's constantly getting faster. And not only do I have drivers coming out here, but I have fans that come out here and come into the pits and want to hang out with the drivers and see the cars up close. And they all love it. I mean, it's very addicting when you get out here.
And then you sign some autographs, and everybody's happy. Right?
I wish. I wish. I was able, luckily enough, to get some T-shirts made with my number on the back and the nickname that we have for the truck on the back. And I have a few friends that wanted some T-shirts.
What's the nickname?
So to keep it family friendly, we'll just call it the Sugar Honey Iced Tea Truck. All right. But we call it that because it's such an affordable truck. I mean, the Ford Ranger, you can find these things everywhere for $1,000, $1,500, and they're durable little trucks. They're good little trucks,
So how do you do in these track attacks? Now, I've been hearing about track attacks, and they're trying to hook me up on racing somebody on the track attacks.
You guys have to come out. You guys have to come out.
You already know about it.
At least do the time attack. All right, at least come out and do the time attack. But
I'll just do it side by side so I can stuff him in the wall.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure. If you want to,
First of all, I'm gonna propose that is not going to happen because I'm not going to let you get nowhere near my car.
Mm-hmm.
But now the time attacks, it's very fun. That's where I try to strive the best because I know that my truck doesn't come from a dead stop too well, especially against these cars that have launch control and stuff like that. So I really push hard for time attacks.
Tell us about the launch control stuff here.
Oh man, some cars like the Subarus and stuff like that, they're able to get the RPMs up and get a launch just like that, take off like a rocket ship. Mercedes,
and they're racing against you who can't do that.
Yeah.
So in other words, they cheat.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. It's fun for me. I love it because when you beat these cars, you feel really good about it. You really do. And I've had a lot of races that were close, and I've had a lot of races where I've won by a few car lengths. And it's just awesome because a lot of people see the truck and they're like, man, this little Ford Ranger with 100 horsepower, I just lost to it, and stuff like that. But it's great. It really is. And these cars, like I said before, these cars that are fast, that are wicked fast, they're great. We need them out at Wacky to inspire more drivers, to make more drivers push harder. And I can't get enough of the fast cars.
Scott's getting ready to have surgery, so he won't be able to drive his.
Well, soon you guys have to come out and try it.
So we definitely got to come out.
Because not only do we have great drivers out there, but the officials are amazing too. Everyone's a family out there.
You ain't got to blow no smoke up there, but Justin Kern and all them people you're talking about. Hey, you don't have to blow no smoke up there, bud.
Yep, they're great people. Justin, Casey, the officials like Brian Emery, JC, they're all great people. They're great people to get along with. They're awesome. They're friendly. Even down to the safety crew. They're all great people. It's awesome. It's one big family. And to see these guys every single Wednesday, it brings a smile to my face. And it's really nice to see them,
Casey, we don't have excuses. We got reasons. There's a difference between reason and excuse. So anyway. Well, Justin, we appreciate you coming out here and promoting Wacky Wednesday. When you get a win, I want you to talk some trash about some people. I mean, you're in here talking trash. You're in here talking nice about Justin Kern and Casey and all those people that are involved with the Wacky Wednesday. You're talking nice about them. And they talk trash about you.
Oh, I don't doubt it, but they're going to have to deal with me for a few more years. They're going to have to see me every Wednesday, so they can talk enough trash all they want. But I know
he does his talking on the racetrack, Jack.
Yeah, that's right. I let the truck do the talking. I really do.
What is it called again?
It's called the Sugar Honey Iced Tea Truck. Like I said, we'll keep it like that. Keep the show family friendly, but it's an awesome time.
You got a picture of these shirts? Do you have the truck on the shirt?
I do have a picture of the shirts. Yeah, I do. I do. I'd love to show it to you guys. Now, the best thing that you guys can do is come down and not just see the shirts, but to see the truck in person. Seeing these cars up close, it really blows your mind because a lot of these guys, they do invest a lot of time in their cars and they work really hard and it's awesome. It really is. And a lot of these guys, they're here every single week pushing. And you got to remember, we got to drive these cars home. And a lot of these guys not just drive them home, but they daily drive them. So, it's really amazing.
Not getting out there with Scott because I do have to drive mine home.
I'll tell you guys right now, I put my truck into the wall, and that wall doesn't move. No. That wall does not move at all. But
back in the day when it was a guardrail, you could hit it and save some stuff. That wall does not give.
No.
I seen wasn't last year. I think it was year before last. I seen a video where a Porsche was racing a Tesla, and the Tesla. I mean, you're not going to keep up with Tesla. You're just not going to. But the Porsche come down the backstretch, and he just drove it way too deep on the outside and stuffed it in the wall. It's like, oh.
In some of those guys, you can see it before it happens because you see them get out on the track and they start pushing up towards the wall, and it makes people like me cringe. It's like, oh my, get away from the wall, get away from the wall. Find a little lower on the track, but it's all fun and games, and of course we don't want to see guys do that. We want to see guys have fun. We want to see guys come back next week, and we try to tell everyone in the drivers meeting, if your car gets out of shape like that, clutch, brake, keep that steering wheel straight, and just hold on. Things will be good.
Who started Wacky Wednesday?
I don't know who started, but the person we were talking about was racing it was Boo Boo to Zero.
Oh, but okay.
Boo Boo to Zero started in Wacky Wednesday.
Yeah, Zero's a great guy. Yep.
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy towards me.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time, and come back and see us again when you get a win, and bring your trophy and whatever you get, and bring it up here and show it.
Oh yeah, I'll bring my plaque out here.
Oh, bring your plaque, whatever it is you get. I don't know what you
don't
get.
worry, and we'll start the trash talking. Don't worry.
Well, thank you guys so much. It's a complete honor to be up here.
Man.
Thank you.
He's good.
Come on, man. Come on, Nick.
All right, here comes a real race car driver.
They're not racing against each other. We
No,
can't
I'm
say
talking
that.
about. I know they're not racing against each other.
What are you trying to say?
Huh?
Are you
I'm
talking
saying
about, are you anticipating? Are you talking
I'm
about me?
saying between the two of y'all, we have a real race car driver here now.
Start some stuff.
Now, tell us a little bit about how you got started in racing.
Yeah. I don't know, it was kind of by accident, really. I moved into our house, and like I was always fascinated with Hot Wheels and those Matchbox cars and stuff. My parents were watching NASCAR on TV, and I was like, that seems kind of interesting. I want to like get more into that. So they bought me the NASCAR game, like the steering wheel and everything. And I still
Now, how old were you at this time?
I was like 8, 9, 10.
Oh, so that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
In case we didn't mention, this is Nick Leitz. We didn't say his name. We just jumped right in talking to it. So
Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry. I didn't.
that's what Google's for.
Yeah, go ahead.
So after that, I got into go-karts, ran Hampton Roads Kart Club here, and then just moved up ever since.
Now, where have you been running? You've been running some late miles this year. Where you been running? You've been up at Dominion, right?
Yeah.
What put you at Dominion?
I just like banking. Huh? These flat tracks they're tough. So I mean, if you can win here, you can really win everywhere. And I probably should run here, but
Now tell us. You've had some big stuff going on the last little bit. Tell us a little bit about that. Now, don't leave all that out.
yeah. Made my first Camping World Truck Series start at Nashville. That was
What was how nervous were you on that?
freaking. Yeah, I can't even put it into words still.
And
like
whose truck did you run?
the Rayum Brothers Racing 43 truck. It was-
Okay.
That they didn't have the really good track record of making the show, so to be able to just qualify and make the event was big relief off my shoulders and everybody else's, I'm sure. But then going out there and just learning as I go, because I only got 8 laps of practice. It was a 20-minute practice. Only got 8 laps of practice in it. Never sat in a truck before. I was like 39th. There were 42 trucks there. And I was 39th in practice. And I was worried about qualifying. I was like, I hope I make it on time because it's a big deal. And went out there and qualified and made the show, which was pretty exciting.
Well, I was watching. I was watching part of that. I thought that was a big deal when you made the race.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Now, did you look for anybody for advice when you went to Nashville, and who helped you there?
Yeah, I did a lot of the iRacing.
Okay.
For sure. A lot of sim time.
Now, how close was that to doing the sim? It's not close.
Not even close. Not even close.
But I guess it gets you familiar with the racetrack, though,
Yeah.
like kind of where the bumps are, if there is a bump.
the breaking points, bumps, stuff like that.
Mhm.
But the feel of it is totally different. Like even the air off the trucks in front of you getting aero tight and pushing was.
And that had to be something new for you because,
Oh, yeah.
like, you don't generally feel that here or I don't know, Dominion kind of. I don't know. I mean, I know when we ran Richmond International in the late models, you could feel some of that down into the straightaway. We weren't nearly as fast as the Cup cars were, but
Yeah, it was. I was telling the crew chief, I was like, feels tight off the center whenever I'm behind someone. He's like, yeah, that's gonna be the air. That's gonna happen. So that was like setting up somebody to pass him off the corner was something I had to learn as well.
who was spotting for you?
Chad Fincham was our spot.
Okay, Chad. Okay, yeah. Well, Chad's got experience. I mean, tell you what to do, what not to do.
He's
Who's your crew chief?
Josh Rayu.
Josh Ram. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you get hooked up with the Ram? I mean, to be a part of that.
It was I wanted to do something big this year, either an ARCA or truck or something. So I got
For the money, you might as well be in the truck.
Yeah,
Because there's really not that much money difference.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I got approved as through NASCAR as quick as I could, and just last minute thing. They said I could run 3 races, the last 3 before the playoffs, because I didn't really have that much experience in like those top 3 series. So I ran Nashville, and now I can.
So are you going to run any more this year with them?
Yeah, we're planning to run Richmond, which we got a sponsor for that, the Impact Solutions, Impact
All right.
Logistics. Sorry, they'll be on the truck, which would be pretty exciting.
Cool. I mean,
How did you get them?
A think my sister really. She was selling an umbrella on OfferUp. The guy who came there was friends with the guy who owns Impact Logistics. It's a, they do shipping stuff out of the Port of Virginia. So he knew them and hooked us up with him. And got a deal out of that.
It's all about, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Who you know.
And that's a great example because you don't never know who you're going to run into and what impact that can have.
Yeah.
Because really, your sister's selling an umbrella on OfferUp. You can't get. We've heard stories like that. We had the trucking company. I can't remember the guy. Not Rock Solid, but it was in the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, and that guy was leaving the stands because he didn't think he was being treated very good at one other place, and just a PR guy happened to help him park his car because he was handicapped. I think he walks with crutches or something, or he's got a prosthetic leg or something. I can't remember. And from then on, they started sponsoring the Burger King team, and it became a big sponsor. So you just don't ever know where you're at, who you're going to run into, and what impression that could have on something like that.
Now, have you ever heard of Al Pearce?
Sure, I have.
Well, that's the media center or press box.
Yeah, this whole place is right. That's the name for him.
Are you from here?
I'm Chesapeake.
So he might not have read my stories. Because I retired from the paper in 2004. I haven't written since 2004.
But you're still.
I'm still famous.
You're still got that big famous.
How long have you been covering NASCAR, Al?
53 years. Dover in 1969 was my first race. Where I asked Richard Petty, why'd you climb out the window and not just open the door?
He didn't know no better.
Ask him what Richard told him.
Not to take up his time, but there's a backstory. Okay? I had just gotten out of the Army. I had just come home from Vietnam. The Daily Press hired me to go to Dover and cover a NASCAR race. I had never seen a NASCAR race.
But didn't you tell him you knew everything there was to know about
I
racing?
lied to him to get the job. As soon as they asked me what do you know about racing, I figured that's what they need. They need a racing guy. Oh man, I know everything. I'm from North Carolina. Richard Petty's from North Carolina. I know everything.
So when you get that sponsor, just lie you right to it.
Yeah, they send me to Dover. Richard wins. My first question is, sir, why did you climb out the window in Victory Lane and not just open the door? And Richard looked at me and he said, boy, you don't know much, do you? And I said, no, sir, but I expect to learn. 53 years later.
That's kind of like the same thing Red Farmer told you.
No, it was a lot worse.
So neither one of these gentlemen has ever read anything I ever wrote, except that book.
Well, we'll talk about this.
I know.
But it's really cool that you got hooked up with those guys and are able to get the truck race. So are you going to be racing any more at Dominion this year? Or
Yeah. This Saturday, actually, doing the Virginia Racer Series. I know they have that Blake Morris race, which will be pretty cool to see that happen. And
So you're running the limited?
yeah, I'd like to do the late models next year. Hopefully, we can find a sponsor for it. But
Well, you didn't let little we call him little shit around here.
Riley Music?
Yeah, Riley Music. You didn't let him whip up on you while you're out
yeah.
there. He was just the opposite of you. He's like, I want my flat racetrack back.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there was one time in practice where I was like running up on some car, so I'd let off to get some space in between us, and he was right behind me. I was holding him up. I was like, "Go low, go low." It was almost a big mess there. So I came over and apologized. I was like, "Sorry for holding that up."
Don't apologize to him.
We like to give him a hard time.
Don't apologize
I mean,
to him.
I don't know how he gets his head in the window net because it's so big sometimes. So where did you? So you started out in go-karts and you went from go-karts to late models?
Go-karts to legend cars.
Okay.
Ran a couple here.
Oh, that's right.
And then did late limiteds again.
You run with Butterbean and the.
Oh yeah, it's been my friend since 6th grade.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You don't tell everybody that, do you?
So you don't have a lot of. So you don't have a lot of friends. So you got Butterbean as a friend, you know.
So where all did you run the Legends?
All over North Carolina, really. At different tracks, Orange County, Hickory, Southern National. So
Orange County is kind of a neat. It's a fairly big.
The cool thing is when I started reading his name,
You just read his name.
when I started seeing his name pop up at Dominion on the finishes and stuff at Dominion and everything, I'm trying to figure out who this cat is, you know. And then the next thing I hear, he's gonna go into a truck. You know, I'm thinking, who is this guy? Man, I don't know him. And then he comes back and tells me you live down there somewhere near him.
right near his. Right
Well, it was next door to my aunt. Yeah,
So I mean, geez.
It's a small world.
it is a small world.
All right, thank you, sponsors, and everybody helps you out with your car and everything.
Yeah, Jay Hitchcock builds greatest chassis and late models. Impact Solutions, Hardy Boys Consultants, Mom and Dad, I guess, and Precision Measurements for all they do.
So, what's your goals for Richmond?
Finish on the lead lap, and hopefully get a top 25 or top 20
Is that Friday race?
Saturday night.
So there's no
Like Sunday?
Xfinity race that weekend.
Okay.
The Cup race is Sunday in the daytime in August, so that'll be
Yeah.
scorcher.
Oh yeah, it will be. It'll be slick too.
Yeah, it'll be
The
fun.
place gets slick, especially off.
I'm gonna be in the media center with Al.
I was buying dinner. He's buying dinner.
That's for the free food.
All right, well, man, we appreciate it. Thanks
Yeah,
for
man.
coming out here
Appreciate
tonight.
it, guys.
Good luck, man.
Thank
Come back again and see us, and we'll get you back out here.
We'll come over and get something started over there. with your
I tell you
team.
what, after Richmond, we want you to come back and talk about the race after Richmond too. How about
you.
that?
Sounds good.
All right, man, we'll
Thank
do
you.
that. All right, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Good luck,
All
man.
right,
Thanks
Hot
for
Rod,
coming.
you can come over here. We're gonna go ahead and get Brayden on here real quick, then we're gonna go to Al.
I'm injured. That's why I'm
Take us
hopping
over.
around. Which way should I go?
You
Come on
probably
this
should go
way,
this
Al.
way.
Be easier for you.
Probably should go this way. This
Tore my
is senior citizen side. I got it. Go ahead.
I tore my calf
All
muscle.
right. See you guys. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming.
All right, there we go. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Takes a while, but we get you.
Uh,
All right, let's get Brayden.
Well,
on
have you
here.
wrecked any young girls lately?
Not this year. Al, not this year. Al.
You cleaning up your act.
All right, let's get Brayden
Impact
Goddard on here. I
Solutions
want to talk
for
to him a little bit,
sponsoring.
see how things are going down at Kingsport Speedway with Brayden Goddard.
Okay.
What's up,
Hello,
Brayden?
Brayden. How's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How about you?
Uh-oh, we can't hear you.
Hear me now?
No, can't hear you.
You can hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
we
you hear
don't-
me now?
Yeah, your mic is on, but we don't hear anything. You want to leave and then come back? Maybe it'll hook back up.
Can you hear me now? All right, we'll do that.
All right, well, let's go ahead with Al, and then we'll come back to Brayden. Al Pearce, one of our local racing heroes, has wrote a book, 51st Victories. And I can't wait till I get this book so I can sit down and read
Did
it.
he sign it for you?
I will give you both one, but I can't give you that one
Mhm.
because they only sent me a few to carry around.
Mhm.
They can send me some more, and I'll give you guys one.
So the 51st. What is the 51st Victories, Al?
Well, it's a 50 chapter book, and each chapter is about a particular NASCAR driver's
We'll be
first.
with you in a minute, Brayden.
It's 50 chapters, 50 drivers describe what it was like to win their first race.
Okay.
So it's like the first race that Davey Allison ever won, the first race that Alan Kowicki won, the first race that Jimmy Johnson won. It's just about that one particular moment. The emotions involved, what went into it, what were the turning points of that particular race, how did they celebrate, where's the trophy? Just, and the beauty of the book is, and I've told people this, 50 chapters, 50 drivers, and there's no chapter so long that you can't read it in a fairly short period of time.
Yeah.
Like if you needed to go to the bathroom for some reason, you could read a chapter while you were there and you'd be done. And you could read another chapter the next time you go to the bathroom.
How long have you been working on this?
Mike Embry from Spartanburg, another Hall of Fame writer, we started on it 2 years ago. And we picked 50. I took 25. He took 25. And we spent about a year and a half on it. And then found a publisher. And they took it for 6 months, played with it, the cover. So it'll come out next weekend, August the 1st. Next weekend?
Yeah.
It'll come out next weekend and hopefully Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Target, Walmart, all stores. But if you want an early copy, you can order it online. They'll send it to your home at a fairly substantial discount. So it's obviously available now.
So I got a discount already, but I know the guy that wrote the book.
You know the guy that wrote the book, yeah.
So I got one, but I'm gonna get Mike Embry to sign it too. I mean,
I can do that. He will be at Richmond.
I know. I see him up there every time I go up there.
We'll probably both sign it for you and find you in the cafeteria eating a free meal. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
Right, I'm not really kidding. So the cool thing about the book is it doesn't cover just the superstars. There's a chapter about a guy named Jim Roper.
Yep.
Won the first ever Cup race. Only because, ironically, the apparent winner got disqualified. It was taken off the board. And so Jim Roper from Kansas moved from second to first, and Glenn Dunaway, the apparent winner, was at the bottom of the sheet. I mean, there's stories in there about almost everybody, all the big timers. There's about 10 or 12 drivers that we debated about. All right, do we want Wendell Scott or do we want Carl Edwards? Well, Carl may eventually come back. We don't know that he's done. So we said, okay, we'll do Wendell Scott in this issue. And if we do a second version, we'll take 50 other drivers. We'll take Derek Cope and Carl Edwards and Greg Biffle and, people like that. So there may be a second version of this maybe within a couple of 3 years.
Well, that's cool. I mean,
But it's a good book.
And then did you spend time with some of these people?
I visited all of them. Yeah, I went to Taylorsville and sat on the front porch with Rex White and sat in a rocking chair with Rex White and interviewed him for a couple of hours with my tape recorder. Went to Bobby Allison's home in Lake Norman, near Lake Norman, sat with Bobby for a couple of hours. Talked to a bunch of them on the phone. Some of them I couldn't get to. Herschel McGriff, I had met years ago on a motorcycle ride. But Herschel is in California, Oregon. So I called Herschel and we talked. So now, before people yell about, you can't interview the dead guys. Well, that's true. But the very first chapter of the book, and it was not an accident, the first chapter of the book is Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And what Mike did, that was a Mike story. Mike interviewed everybody on that team that day, that night, when he won at Bristol. So you can't talk to Dale, but you can talk to Doug Rickard. You can talk to Junior about being there as a kid. You can talk to people on the team, but obviously you can't talk to Earnhardt. You can't talk to Alan Kulwicki, people like that. So, and all the sources are absolutely credible. We didn't make anybody up. I mean, we talked to everybody. So
And you mentioned Rex White, and well, just let it be known that we'll hope everything works out. Rex White is very sick right now.
yeah,
Right?
and he was actually sick when I interviewed him. So, but now I'll tell you about Rex White. People don't realize it. It was about a 3-year span in, I think, late 50 into the early 60s. He was as good as anybody's ever been.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
I mean, he won like 30-some races in 3 years and beat big timers in points, beat Petty's, beat Buck Baker in points one year. So, Rex looks a lot like George Goebel, the old comedian.
Yeah. And he did a couple of those, stocks for tots things that I went down there for and had a chance to sit down and talk with him at those stocks for tots things. That was really cool. And I was trying to get him on the show, and every time I've tried to get him, he's gone somewhere or he got sick and couldn't do it. So, so that's a pretty big deal.
But I think people who read this, and I hope you do, you'll learn something about every driver in there. For example, Richard Petty thought he won his first race when he was like 18 or 19, but he was disqualified. He was not disqualified. His father claimed there was a scoring dispute because his father had finished second.
Right. I remember hearing about that.
And Richard,
I thought he protested him or something.
well, he protested the scoring.
Okay.
I don't think he protested the car, but Richard won. His father was second. And his father was sure that he had won and not Richard, and he had him go through the scorecards, and it turned out the same way.
Oh, okay.
Wendell Scott's first and only win, he was scored third, but was so sure he had won, he requested a scoring recount, and they found out that Buck Baker and Jack Smith were not indeed 1 and 2 at the end, that Wendell had indeed won.
Wow.
So, there's stories within these 51st victories that I think people will really, really enjoy.
I can't wait to read it myself. I think it's going to be a great one.
I'll give you a copy.
That'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a lot of fun to read because, I think
because there's probably stories that we haven't heard.
Right.
There's a ton of stories.
Some you may have heard, some you may not have heard.
Do you have a favorite, Al, or do you have one that really stood out of the ones that you did?
I think the way Mike and I broke it down was we met in Charlotte and had a meeting at an office down there, and Mike said, "Okay, let's agree on 50," and that took us a couple hours to get to 50. He said, "Okay, you take your 25, I'll take my 25, and then we'll kind of negotiate for the rest." So I said, "Well, I know Kyle Petty pretty well. I know Richard pretty well. I've just finished a big story about Wendell for an encyclopedia." So each of us took people that we felt comfortable with.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Spartanburg. He knew Pearson his whole life, so he wanted Pearson. He wanted Earnhardt because he knew Doug Rickert quite well, who was Earnhart's crew chief at the time.
Right.
Yeah, which he won't, but what? How old Doug said he was? 17, 18 years old?
Like, it was a little guy, young guy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get Brayden on here. We got to get Brayden, let him come on for a minute. Maybe we can hear him this time.
You guys got me?
Brayden?
You guys got me now?
Really? We still can't hear you.
No, we got nothing, Brayden. Are you using your phone?
Yeah.
Huh. Did you open it in a Chrome browser?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, I think I hear a. Wait a minute. Try it again.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, see, I'm gonna take blame. It was me. Because we were off, I was using my computer for other stuff. I had turned the volume down.
We're not going to talk trash to you about it, dude. It was his fault.
Yeah.
Well, Brayden, tell us a little bit about what's going on with you, man. I know you're doing some racing down at Kingsport. How you like racing there?
Sure, it's a very tricky track, but it's real fun. Great people down there. We've done very, very good this season. A lot of improvement from last season. So, and we just hope to keep improving from that. I mean,
So you're running the limiteds?
Yeah.
Okay. So who all is your main competition out there? Since you don't have to race against Crest Van Dyke.
Probably Marty Tennell, Chris Tennell when he races. Keith Helton. Keith Helton whips our tails. He's a very good racer.
Now, hold on. Them Tennell boys, are they any kin to Karen?
Yeah.
I figured they were. Okay. So they've been whooping up on you too?
Well, we go back and forth with me and Marty. Me and Marty go back and forth on finishing. It's always real fun racing him. I think 3 weeks ago we made a lap pass on him for third place. Beat him by 1/1000th of a second, I think it was.
So look, let me ask you a question now. You're running in the limiteds. Do you have aspirations of moving up sometime soon to run against?
Definitely. If we get the sponsorship back, and we've been talking about moving up next year, that's only if we get the sponsorship back.
Yeah, you need to go up there and bang fenders with Crest Van Dyke a little bit because he's winning everything.
Yeah, he's a talented driver.
Well, that's what I guess I could say that. I got other names for him, but I'll go with that. That's good. Now you got another guy down there getting ready to win his 100th Mod 4 race.
Yeah, he's helped me out a bunch. He's real nice. Kevin, he each week he'll give me a pointer on the track. Give me a few. I know whenever last season he gave me a lot of pointers. One when I was starting on the pole, and then the other ones was just when he'd give me pointers each week, and I'd improve on it each week. My lap times would constantly go up. I mean, he's helped us out a bunch too.
So how many wins you got this year?
Just one.
I thought it was one.
Yeah, we've got one, and we've got 2 third-place finishes.
And you had what, third this past weekend?
Yep, third.
Yeah, I thought so. So
Yeah. Controversial pass, but it goes back and forth on it. If it was the right might move or not.
What was the controversial part?
Well, I was on this car's inside. I'm not going to bring his name into it. I'm going to.
I know who it is. You go ahead and talk about it. Go ahead.
But I was on his inside, and we went in the corner. And what I've heard from people was he could have gave me more room, and I probably could have gone down a bit more. But we door banged, and he spun around. He ended up getting third. And then after the race, he got in my car and was saying a bunch of stuff. I kind of zoned him out. I mean, I don't really try not to listen to the negativity on things.
So in other words, like I was told one time, he used the front of your car to wreck himself?
Yeah, pretty much. Right.
Yeah, Scott had a guy tell him that too.
Yeah.
That's not how it really works. But anyway, so how long you been racing?
This will be my second year.
Okay.
Oh, man. Okay.
We do go-kart racing, none of that. We went straight to limited late models.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, we fourth out of 23 cars in points my rookie season, and then right now we're sitting second in points.
So who helps you chassis-wise and set up and that kind of stuff?
Well, our chassis is a 1999 Hedgecock with a 2013 Hedgecock front clip, I think. I think it's 2013. Then Wade Day, he helps us out a lot in our setups. He does a great job. He's been a tremendous help to us this season. He's really helped me improve as a driver.
Who'd you say? You said Wayne Day?
Wade Day.
Oh,
Wade.
Day.
Okay.
Well, that's cool. Now, where else have you raced any other places other than Kingsport?
I have not. We plan on going to Lone Pine this season. Then if we're doing good down there, we might go to Tri-County.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. That'd be a big experience for you to be able to race something different.
Yeah, a lot of people say if you can get around Kingsport, you can get around any track.
Well, I don't know about that because Kingsport is a special place. I mean, you gotta have some time there to get used to that place.
Yeah,
I'm almost I've been there. I've been by there a couple times, but I went to one race there and I was there with Cress, and Cress could close his eyes and put a monkey in the driver's seat and he'd probably still win. But
he had his hand out the window one race leading the race in the corners.
That don't surprise me none.
Like, is his hand out the window? And sure enough, it was.
You know, Crest might be a little bit of a show off, but that's okay. So, who all helps you with your car and everything?
Of course, Wade Day, he helps out a lot. You know, my papa, my dad, my friend Eli helps out a lot. And then our my cousin Jimmy helps us out. That's basically our crew.
Okay, but
Who spots for you?
Wade does. Last year, had a really close family friend of ours, Richard Hicks, spot for us. He did really good with me. I like to call him the Bob Ross of spotting.
Well, you got a great place to race down there in Kingsport, and I think it's really good for you to get that experience. But hopefully you'll be up in a late model soon, and everything will work.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we'd love to get there.
Well, so got any big plans for the rest of the year racing, or is it just trying to get the points at Kingsport?
Besides going and trying a few tracks, I mean, trying to get that point, which is going to be very hard because he's a very, very talented driver.
Well, go tell Crest you want to drive one of his cars, and tell him I sent you. Okay,
Yeah.
You want to drive one of his cars just to get some practice in a late model.
Yeah.
Tell him I sent you, and he'll probably let you drive it.
Oh, if he likes me too much or not, but
Hey, make sure you got some money in your pocket because that's probably what it's going to take.
yeah.
All right, Brayden, we appreciate you being with us, and hopefully we'll get you back on here again real soon, and maybe we can get everything straightened out on the where we can hear you that Scott's doing the right job over there.
First time back.
Real quick, can I thank my sponsors real quick?
Yes, please do. I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
I was going to get to that.
I'd like to thank the off-road agent. You know, they reached out to us and asked to sponsor the car, and it's a surprise because just coming out of a rookie season, reaching out to us and wanting to sponsor us, and end up taking our main sponsor. I mean, if you're looking to move anywhere into East Tennessee or the Tri-Cities, you know, reach out to them. I mean, they'll help you out. Erica Sutherland's a very, very nice person. She'll help you out. And then Uncle Jay Smoke and Rub. If you're looking to get some rub for your barbecue, I mean, hit them up. I mean, it's great. It's really good.
Do you eat a lot of that?
I'm sorry?
Do you eat a lot of that?
Yeah, I've tried it.
If you eat, a lot of people will say something like that, and then they say, "Well, I don't eat it."
Yeah, I've tried it. Good.
Okay, all right.
Then I'd like to thank Premier Dental Arts. Then J. Ross Painting. If you need a painting job in the Tri-Cities, you know, make sure you hit them up. I mean, they do great. They did our house. I think they're still working on it a little bit. But it looks amazing. They paint the outside, the inside. It looks good. They did the drywall on it too. Then I got Quality Heat and Air. I mean, he supports a lot of cars down there at Kingsport, but he's really helped our race team out a bunch this season. Then I've got Dana Height from Roden and Fields. If you need any skincare products, make sure you reach out to her. She'll get you set up. And then
Can you hook Jack up?
Do you?
I can get you your number.
Hey, don't listen to him. That's the first thing you can do. If you ever want to come back on this show, don't listen to Scott, okay? But I'm getting ready to ask you the question, do you use it?
And then I'd like to thank Mimi's Creamery. Bobby, and then I've got a few special thanks, you know, out to my girlfriend and her family for being there every week for our races. Haven't missed one. Of course, my buddy Eli, he helps us out each week for 2 seasons now. Wade Day, my dad, my papa, Roy Speeders, and Jimmy. I mean, they help us out a bunch, and that's really rounds it out.
You should have thanked the girlfriend first.
Probably hear that.
Now, how do you manage to have a race car and a girlfriend? That don't seem to work together.
She's really understanding. I mean, we're up here working a lot. She's really understanding. She'll get mad at me from time to time, not talking to her when I'm at the race shop, but she's very understanding with that.
Oh, okay.
They all do, don't they all?
I don't know. I'm gonna race smarter than most.
All right, we appreciate you being with us, Brayden, and
Good luck, man.
I'll reach out to you again real soon. We'll see if we can get you back on again and talk about a win or something. How about that?
That'd be awesome.
All right, man. We'll talk to you again. All right.
See you,
All
buddy.
right.
All right, man.
What's up, Rodney Davis?
Wow. So back to
Thanks,
Hal.
Sonny.
Got
These
any?
kids all look so young.
They
Yes,
are
they
young.
are young.
They are young.
How old are these two guys up here early?
Now, I don't know how old. I think Nick was he about 17.
Something like that. I don't know if he's still in high school or not.
The other one, I'm not sure what he was. I mean, I'm not sure.
Probably early 20s or so.
But how about that 11-year-old guy from Williamsburg winning the race the other night?
Yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, he's
Is that the kid that
yes, that's the one that
Came
Dwayne
up here?
Skittles.
Yeah, okay, I
he's
thought so.
helping with. And
I thought he was a year or two older though.
he's 11.
I thought he was 12 or
He's the
13.
one that came over here with Skittle, and they were walked in here, and I had him and his driver coming on, and Skittle came in, and this kid came in behind him, and they sat down, and I looked at Dwayne. I said, "When your driver gonna show up?"
Said this is him.
And he goes, "He's driving. He's the driver." So what's going on in the NASCAR world that you might want to?
I don't understand what in the hell JGR were doing.
That's
I mean, first of all the tracks they go to, they don't need help at Pocono. Hamlin's won there 6 times and won the pole, and Busch has won there 4 times. They're both in the playoffs. They don't need to cheat to win. I have spent the last 2 days trying to figure out what there is that we don't know that we need to know.
But you know the weird part is what about the was it 37 that I guess they used Bondo. I'm sure it was kind of a
the 34.
The 34.
Yeah.
Mike McDowell's car.
Yeah. Which the crew chief came from there, so I mean they would probably.
Blake,
I'm wondering whether if it was an absolute legitimate mistake, if it was human error, you've got to do a couple of things to get to the human error part. Obviously you have to do that before you wrap it, but they didn't need to cheat. They didn't need any help, and I'm still perplexed about exactly what happened and why. So
I think
NASCAR
there's no fine or anything, so that's kind of a little bit of odd,
well,
or at least not yet.
you get docked all the points they got docked, and you get the last play. You have to be put back in last place. That's enough of a penalty right there. I mean, that's going to cost you big bucks.
oh yeah.
Well, or this was the perfect time to see what you can get away with, not get away with.
But
I would think that you were not going to get away with it.
NASCAR has told you don't mess with those cars.
Don't touch anything.
Yeah.
And it
Did Blake and them, did they did something else though, didn't they?
They put some Bondo where they wasn't supposed to.
Right, but wasn't there something with control arms?
I don't know.
Then they modified something else.
But then I mean NASCAR's coming down hard. You don't play with them.
I mean,
And you lose
I
a
wouldn't
tire.
know now.
You lose a tire and you lose your crew chief for 4 weeks.
Or use some Bondo.
So I mean that's well, you're not supposed to touch them bodies because them bodies come from NASCAR. So you don't put Bondo on a body they put out there.
Yeah.
So, but
I think there has got to be more to it than we're being told.
Well,
I just can't imagine.
yeah, I mean that wouldn't surprise me.
I'm sure somebody went over and said, "Hey, y'all need to check."
Randy
that
said, did they check the rest of the Toyotas? I don't think so. I think just the ones that went to the R&D. Well, all the ones, your top 5 or whatever.
Top 5, yeah.
Because usually they take 1 or 2 from each manufacturer.
Well, now in that way they took those 2 cars, the 11 and the 18.
But the 34 is not a.
The
That's not a
34
Toyota.
it's
That's
a Ford.
That's right. Is it?
It's a Ford.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
right.
Ford, and
It's
it was in the top 10, so that could have been their car because it happened. They found it at the R&D center, so I mean that's
Yeah, they found theirs at R&D
yeah,
Center.
they found that at R&D. So one of those things. I mean,
But it's like somebody said the other day, they were told that these cars are supposed to have come out in 2020.
yeah.
Mhm.
And they
Originally,
right.
the next gen was going to be 2020. They told teams in 2019, when the new car comes out, my God, we're going to tighten up. We're going to really, y'all get ready. We're letting you know right now, we're not going to take any crap off anybody. Well, right off the bat, they got Keselowski. So they came down on that car immediately. And they came down on a couple other times. But this thing, I mean, a piece of tape. I
And
don't
what was
know.
it, 3 inches by 5 inches? I think is what it
3 by
was.
5, like a note card. And a little, tiny little piece of Scotch tape almost.
Yeah, but
I just don't
mean,
understand it.
yeah, but they're doing a little. That's just what they found. Imagine what else they've sort of done somewhere or something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's something that we don't know, and we may never know until 10 years from now when Wally Brown retires or the JGR people fess up. Remember the year we got DQ'd? Here's what we were really doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I say one more thing before we go.
Okay.
You people down in Eastern Carolina, and you say you got viewers down there?
Yeah.
The Rocky Mount, North Carolina Telegram is now running my racing columns every weekend. It's been about maybe since about March or April or February or March. So if you're in the area of Rocky Mount, Wilson, Greenville, Windsor, Bertie County, if you're down that way, buy the Rocky Mount Telegram on weekends and you'll read even more of my stuff.
That'd be cool.
And it's well worth it.
They ain't got it on. They don't have it online, do they?
Yeah, it's online.
Oh, it is. I didn't know
You
that.
can actually buy it and read it.
Okay.
Rodney said they just had the big one happen at the shootout in the Bandos.
You what?
Rodney Davis, he commented, I guess the shootout for the Bandos are racing in
Oh.
Charlotte. So they just had the big one.
Yeah, they're doing tonight. They have to make up the race they missed last night because they were racing 2 nights this week. So they're running all the races again tonight. 2 times. Everybody's running twice. And Miley Cyrus Smith is down there, and Adley Weiss is down there. Schumann's down there. I forget all. Phoenix is not there, but anyway. Well, Al, we appreciate you coming out and plugging the book. Maybe we can,
We look forward to that free dinner at Richmond.
Good book. It is a good book. Free lunch, breakfast, and dinner in your case. Although they race on Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yes.
They don't. It's not a Friday show.
No,
Nothing on Friday.
nothing on Friday.
Oh, good.
Nothing at all. All right, that's our show for tonight. We appreciate everybody being on and being with us. Brayden, Goddard, Justin, and Nick Leitz, and
Billy Hobbs.
That was a good.
He said he's going to start watching now.
Well, I'm glad he is because I've heard so many great things about him. About time he comes listen to some great people talk. We might have to go down there and speak sometime at the town council meeting. So.
Unlike him, we don't mind being in front of the camera.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, I got to do something different Saturday. I got to be on Doc Love's show Saturday.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
That was fun. I mean, he's a cool guy. Of course, I pretty much got got the guys to come over there and talk on the show, but it was really cool. He's got some first-rate equipment. We had like 3.4K right after the show was over with, and
Well, they have a big.
they have a big following.
Yes.
He has a big following. But it was a lot of fun to do the show with him, and we're going to do some more. And he wants you to come out and join him too. I told him it wasn't no use to have Scott out there because he's, you don't want to put a camera on him. Just put him to the side.
Second-class citizen over here.
So anyway, but no, it was really fun. I want to thank Doc for letting me be a part of it. Thank Vaughn and all of them for. I found out saying they recommended me to come out there and help him out. So that was really a fun time. Of course, he came up here and sat in the box with us for a while, and that was a lot of fun too. So anyway, all right, next week. All right, be prepared for next week.
Uh-oh.
Mark Canary is going to be here next week.
Mark Canary?
Mike Canary, Mark
Mike.
Canary,
Mike.
Mark, whatever his name is, the big boy.
Big sexy.
Yeah, he's going to be here with us next week. And we can't wait for that. So it'll be a lot of fun. All right, that's our
I'm
show.
gonna take this pizza off your hands.
Wait a minute, I got you. You can take a
Only
whole
2
one.
slices in there.
I got one. You can take a whole one.
I don't want to take a whole one.
That's pepperoni.
Nah, I just really, there's only 3 slices.
Okay. All right, that's
All right. See you guys next week.